Welcome to this meeting of the Standing Committee on Social Development. I will now ask all members to introduce themselves for the record to start ourselves off. And to start, I'm going to turn to members that are joining us remotely this morning, starting with MLA Bonnet Rouge.
Good afternoon, all. Ron Bonnet Rouge, MLA Decho. Merci.
Merci, Ron.
Jane Wayellen Armstrong, MLA for Mope.
Merci, Jane. And I'll turn the floor to my left.
Katrina Knockleby, MLA for Great Slave.
Lisa Simler, MLA Nuvik Twin Lakes.
Thank you very much, members. My name is Caitlin Cleveland. I am the MLA for Cam Lake, and also joining us here today we have Michael Ball, who is our committee clerk. We also have Mahalia Yakalaya Newmark, who is our committee advisor, and we have Taylor Maxwell, who is our committee intern as well. So thank you very much for joining us here today. This afternoon, the Standing Committee on Social Development is reviewing Bill 40, an act to amend the Medical Profession Act, which is available on the Legislative Assembly website. Bill 40 received second reading and was referred to the Standing Committee for review on November 26, 2021. The bill amends the Medical Professions Act to allow for regulation of physicians to provide virtual care to residents. Bill 40 proposed to make the following changes to the Act. Adds an exemption from getting an NWT license for physicians in other provinces and territories providing virtual care to NWT residents when there is a referral from an NWT doctor or nurse practitioner. Clarifies a regulation-making power to adapt and adopt standards of practice for the practice of medicine. Allows the Minister of Health and Social Services to make an agreement with an organization or government about physician licensing, creates a new category of registration and licensing for physicians practicing by virtual care without a referral, and allows registers of physicians to be posted online. In December 2021, committee distributed stakeholder letters seeking input from the public and stakeholders on the changes proposed by Bill 40. Committee received feedback from various stakeholders, including the Northwest Territories Medical Association, raising various concerns with Bill 40. Committee thanks everybody who took the time to provide us with their views and concerns. Some of those stakeholders raised concerns with certain aspects of the bill, as well as certain issues that are not within the scope of this bill. Near the end of committee's review period, the Government of the Northwest Territories Department of Health and Social Services identified issues with the bill that could require substantial amendments. These issues address some of the points of contention identified by stakeholders. On March 28, 2022, committee sought and received an extension of our review period and indicated that we were willing to work collaboratively with the Minister of Health and Social Services to make improvements to the bill. When a bill is before Standing Committee, it is unusual for the Government of the Northwest Territories to be heavily involved in consultation with stakeholders. However, in this instance, committee took the unusual step of requesting that the Minister of Health and Social Services again consult with key stakeholders on the bill during this extension. Committee would like to thank the department for doing this and for their added time and work on this bill. I will now invite the Honourable Julie Green, Minister of Health and Social Services, to deliver any opening remarks on Bill 40. Following the Minister's remarks, committee members may make comments or pose questions on the bill. Minister Green, I'd like to invite you to please introduce your staff for the record and proceed with any opening remarks you may have on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm pleased to address committee today on Bill 40, an act to amend the Medical Profession Act. With me today on my right is Deputy Minister Bruce Cooper. On my left is Kelly Mahoney, Director of Policy, Legislation and Communications, and next to her is Sherry Jarrock, who is our legal counsel for this bill. Madam Chair, the purpose of this bill, as you've already alluded to, is to allow for regulation of physicians providing virtual care to NWT residents, which is of particular importance as the use of virtual care has greatly increased, in large part because of the increased need for it during the COVID-19 pandemic to limit in-person contact and medical travel. I appreciate committee's willingness to work with us to further amend the bill based on feedback that we each received from medical professionals. The major amendment to this bill exempts physicians in other provinces and territories from having to register to provide virtual care in the NWT if they have a referral from an NWT doctor or nurse practitioner. Physicians in other provinces and territories within the NWT referral pathways do not have to be licensed in the NWT in addition to their home jurisdiction. This exemption allows greater access to services for residents while reducing administrative burden for physicians. We have heard that too much paperwork to be licensed means some physicians will withdraw their services from the NWT. Second, the amendments also clarify that physicians must abide by professional standards of practice. The standards of practice set out the minimum expectations of care provided by physicians. Currently, this is an oversight not included in the Medical Profession Act. An amendment in the bill adds a new regulation-making power that allows for the standards of practice to be created. We have a well-established relationship with the College of Physicians and Surgeons in Alberta. For many years, the complaints officer under the Medical Profession Act has been contracted through the college, which gives advantages of economies of scale, expertise, and resources that are not available in the Northwest Territories. With the Alberta College's full knowledge and support, work has been ongoing since 2019 to adopt standards of practice for NWT physicians that are similar to standards set by the Alberta College. The Alberta College's standards, in turn, are consistent with standards of practice for physicians in other provinces. Initiated by the complaints officer under the Medical Profession Act and the Territorial Medical Director at the Northwest Territories Health and Social Services Authority, the department has been working on adapting the Alberta standards of practice to align with NWT legislation and is working collaboratively with NWT physicians to finalize them. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the time and care you've taken in reviewing and responding to this bill, and I would be pleased to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister and Committee. So that everyone knows, we also do have the support today of the Deputy Law Clerk, Mr. Toby Kruger, on the line as well, should anybody need. Members, does anybody have any questions or comments? Hearing none, I believe we are now concluded this stage of our review. Committee, we received multiple submissions from the public on Bill 40, and I thank those stakeholders for taking the time to share their thoughts with us. I especially want to thank the Northwest Territories Medical Association, who joined us earlier this week to share their thoughts. There have been no requests from the public to appear before the committee today. Does committee agree to proceed to a clause-by-clause review of Bill 40, an act to amend the Medical Professions Act? Agreed. Thank you, Committee. Committee, please turn to page 1 of the bill. Clause 1, does committee agree? Agreed. Clause 2, does committee agree?
Madam Chair.
Emily Knockleby?
I move that Clause 2 of Bill 40 be amended by deleting paragraphs A to D and substituting the following. A, by striking out the period at the end of the English version of the definition undergraduate student and submitting a semicolon. And B, by repealing the definition medical practitioner and adding the following definitions in alphabetical order. Medical practitioner means a person who A, holds a license or temporary permit, or B, is entitled to practice virtual care under section 31.1 or 31.2 Medicine. Medical practitioner in a province or another territory means a person who is entitled to practice medicine under the laws of a province or another territory. Medicine dans une province ou un autre territoire. No one told me I was going to be speaking French today. Nurse practitioner means a nurse practitioner is defined in Section 1 of the Nursing Profession Act. Infirmière praticienne ou infirmière praticienne. Virtual care means practicing medicine through electronic communication, where the medical practitioner and the patient are not in the same location. Sans virtuel.
Thank you. Thank you, Emily Knockleby, and well done. The motion is in order to the motion. Thank you. Question has been called. All those in favor? All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
I concur. Thank you, Minister.
Committee, the minister concurs with the motion. Clause 2 has been amended to Clause 2 as amended. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Thank you, committee. Clause 3, does committee agree?
Madam Chair?
MLA Knockleby.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that clauses 3 and 4 of Bill 40 be deleted.
The motion is in order. To the motion,
Question.
question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
Agree. I concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister concurs with the motion. Clauses 3 and 4 have been deleted. Does committee agree to proceed to Clause 5?
Agree.
Clause 5, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 6, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 7, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 8, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 9, does committee agree?
Madam Chair?
MLA Knockleby.
Thank you. I move that Clause 9 of Bill 40 be amended. A, by deleting proposed clauses 31.1, 31.2, 31.3, 31.4, and 31.5, and the heading preceding proposed clause 31.1. B, by deleting that portion of proposed clause 31.6 preceding paragraph A and substituting the following. Virtual care, 31.1. A person may, without being registered in the medical register or the temporary register, and without a license or temporary permit, practice virtual care from a province or another territory if the person, C, by deleting clauses 31.7 and 31.8 and substituting the following. 31.2 brackets 1, the minister may enter into an agreement with the government of a province or another territory or with another body or entity responsible for the regulation of the medical profession in a province or another territory, authorizing a person or class of persons to practice virtual care from the province or other territory without being registered in the medical register or the temporary register. 2, a person may, without being registered in the medical register or the temporary register, and without a license or temporary permit, practice virtual care in accordance with an agreement made under subsection bracket 1. 31.3, except as may be otherwise permitted by the committee, having regard for the nature of the offense or the circumstances under which it was committed, no person shall practice virtual care under section 31.1 or 31.2 if the person has been convicted of an offense under this act or an indictable offense under the criminal code. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The motion is in order. To the motion,
Question.
question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
Concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister has agreed, concurs with the motion. Clause 9 has been amended. To Clause 9 as amended, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 10, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 11, does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 12, does committee agree?
Madam Chair?
MLA Knockleby.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that clauses 12 to 19 of Bill 40 be deleted. Thank you.
Order to the motion.
Question?
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
Concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister concurs with the motion. Clauses 12 to 19 have been deleted. Does committee agree to proceed to Clause 20?
Agreed.
Thank you, committee. Clause 20, does committee agree?
Madam Chair?
Emily Knockleby.
Thank you. I move that clause 20 of Bill 40 be amended by deleting proposed paragraphs 81 brackets 1 brackets B.1 bracket and B.2 bracket and substituting the following. Bracket B.1 is entitled to practice virtual care under section 31.1 or 31.2. Or.
The motion is order to the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
Concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister concurs with the motion. Clause 20 has been amended to Clause 20 as amended. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Thank you, committee. Clause 21, does committee agree?
Madam Chair.
Emily Knockleby.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that Clause 20 of Bill 40 be amended by deleting Clause 21 and substituting the following. 21, that portion of subsection 82 brackets 1 preceding paragraph brackets A is repealed and the following is substituted. 82 brackets 1, a person shall not, unless they hold a license, temporary permit, or are entitled to practice virtual care under section 31.1 or 31.2. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
Concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister concurs with the motion. Clause 21 has been amended to Clause 21 as amended. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 22, does committee agree?
Madam Chair.
Emily Knockleby.
Thank you. I move that Clause 22 of Bill 40 be amended by deleting proposed paragraphs 83 brackets B.1 and bracket B.2 and substituting the following. B.1 brackets is entitled to practice virtual care under section 31.1 or 31.2 or. The motion is in order.
To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
Concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister concurs with the motion. Clause 22 has been amended to Clause 22 as amended. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 23, does committee agree?
Madam Chair.
Emily Knockleby.
Thank you. I move that Clause 23 of Bill 40 be deleted. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily Knockleby. The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
Concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister concurs with the motion. Clause 23 has been deleted. Does committee agree to proceed to Clause 24?
Agreed.
Thank you, Committee. Clause 24. Does committee agree?
Madam Chair.
Emily Knockleby.
Thank you. I move that Clause 24 of Bill 40 be deleted and the following substituted. 24, Section 94 is amended by adding the following after paragraph bracket M. Bracket M.1, establishing or adopting standards of practice, codes of ethics, continuing competency programs, and the nature of those programs, and scope of practice frameworks and guidelines. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily Knockleby. The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
I concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister concurs with the motion. Clause 24 has been amended to Clause 24 as amended. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Emily Knockleby?
Madam Chair. I move that Bill 40 amended by adding the following after Clause 24. 24.1, Section 94 is renumbered as Section 94 brackets 1, and the following is added after that renumbered subsection. Brackets 2, before recommending that regulations be made under paragraph brackets 1, bracket M.1, the minister shall consult with the Northwest Territories Medical Association. Thank you.
The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion is carried. Does the Minister of Health and Social Services concur with the amendment?
I concur.
Thank you, Minister. Committee, the Minister concurs with the motion. Bill 40 has been amended by adding 24.1 after Clause 24 to Clause 24.1. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Clause 25. Does committee agree?
Agreed.
Committee, that concludes our clause-by-clause review of Bill 40. Does the committee agree that Bill 40, an act to amend the Medical Profession Act, is ready for consideration in Committee of the Whole as amended?
Madam Chair.
Emily Knockleby.
I move that Bill 40, an act to amend the Medical Profession Act, be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration in Committee of the Whole as amended. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily Knockleby. The motion is in order. To the motion.
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried. Bill 40, an act to amend the Medical Profession Act, will be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration in Committee of the Whole as amended. I'd like to thank you, Minister Green, for joining us here today, along with all of your staff as well. Members, this concludes the public portion of our meeting, and then can I get a motion to move in camera, please? Emily Semler, thank you. And thank you very much to the public who has joined us here today. Thank you.